It is super warm today. Just waiting for somebody to log in. Oh, hey David. Oh. Hi Samantha. Hey Andy. Will you let me know if you can hear Justin talking? He's downstairs working and I feel like he's so loud. It's louder than the kids. So, all right. Well, it's only 3:57, so we have a few minutes. I kind of have a funny story for you guys. Hi, Rory. So just a few minutes ago, I was up here and I was getting things ready to do the reading, and oh, okay. Oh, Andy, I said, will you let me know if you can hear Justin talking in the background? He's downstairs working, and I feel like he's being super loud. So, anyways, back to my funny story. So just a few minutes ago, I was up here and I was getting things ready, and my husband was up here, and I was telling him, like, oh, you got to get out, because I'm about to go live, and I start spraying perfume on me. And he's like, why are you spraying that on you? And I was like, because I'm about to go live. And then I started laughing, so I was like, oh my gosh, you guys can't even smell me, so I don't know why I'm wasting perfume. But anyways, at least you know that I smell semi-nice. So, hi Patricia. Oh, look how cute my shirt is, you guys. Oh, I got it for April, because April is Autism Awareness Month. So, anyways, I think it's super cute. My friend bought it for me, so we can be, we're supposed to be twins at work, but now that we're working from home, I guess we're twins from home. So, it's backwards. Oh, I thought I fixed it. Okay, I'm going to flip the iPad and tell me if it's still backwards. Oh. Okay. It's not letting me flip it in the middle of recording. So I went back and I was looking at my other videos, and it looked like everything was backwards. And so I thought I fixed the problem. Apparently I didn't. I'll work on that again this week. So, hi Lori. So, it's pretty warm today. I'm going to take off my socks. It's like it's super hot when I read. So, yeah, I'm excited to do a little YouTube, my first YouTube challenge after I'm done reading today. So I'm excited. I'm bummed Haley can't be in here with us, but I forgot she has class on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 o'clock. So while I'm in here doing this, she's in her room on her online classes. So, because she's the one who challenged me to do this chubby bunny challenge. So I'm excited to do that. And I have an opportunity for somebody, one of you guys, to win a prize when I'm done. So, oh, it's 4:01. So I guess we can get started. So today I pulled out of my box of books. And for those of you who don't know, I seriously have like 20 boxes of books. If you haven't realized by now, I am a book lover, all genres, children's books, adult books. It's just, if it's a book, I love it. So this is called Where the Sidewalk Ends. And it is actually a book of poems. And it is written by Shel Silverstein. Now, some of you may know him from this book, The Giving Tree. This is his most famous book. All right. Other than that, he wrote some different books of different poems. He's famous for his play on words, if you can tell by Runny Babbit, where it should be Bunny Rabbit. Anyways, I love his play on words. And this was actually one of my favorite books to check out in elementary school. We would go to the library once a week and I would run to see if this book was available because there was one poem in here that I just loved and I'd read it over and over and over again. So anyways, this is where the Sidewalk ends. His other big famous poetry book is A Light in the Attic. All right, so this is a special edition. I'm going to take the cover off so it's easier for me to read. And this was actually his 30th anniversary edition that was bought for Haley when she turned 7 years old. All right, so we've had this book for quite a while because Haley's 19 now. So I have my little tabs on what poems I'm going to read, and we'll get started. So the first poem that I love in this book is actually the very first poem, and it is kind of like the introduction, and it's called Invitation. Okay, and it's just, that's the only picture. And it reads, if you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, or even a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer. If you're a pretender, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. So this is the very first poem, and I think this was just his way of introducing the book. He mentions we have some flax golden tales to spin, and that just means we have some stories to tell, some poems to recite. So this was just his way of introducing the book. Next tab. So these are two short poems, and they're actually side by side, and they're called Captain Hook and Hug-O-War. Two short poems. So Captain Hook is actually pretty funny, and it reads, Captain Hook must remember not to scratch his toes. Captain Hook must watch out and never pick his nose. Captain Hook must be gentle when he shakes your hand. Captain Hook must be careful opening sardine cans and playing tag and pouring tea and turning pages of his book. Lots of folks I'm glad I ain't, but mostly Captain Hook. So can you imagine having that sharp, like, claw? And he's basically saying, I'm glad I'm not Captain Hook, because can you imagine trying to pick your nose with a sharp claw? I could, like, feel it already. So the next poem is Hug-O-War. I will not play tug-o-war. I'd rather play hug-o-war, where everyone hugs instead of tugs, where everyone giggles and rolls on the rug, where everyone kisses and everyone grins, and everyone cuddles and everyone wins. So there's Captain Hook, and there's the two hugging friends. Okay. We still haven't got to my favorite poem yet. I'll let you guys know when we get there. All right. So the next two poems I like are also side-by-side poems in this book. And one is called Pancake with a question mark, so it's kind of like a question. Pancake. And the other one is called Smart. And they're both kind of funny and witty. Only one has a picture. So the pancake poem, this is the picture. And you kind of want to get a good look at it because then the poem will make more sense. And then there's no picture for the other one. So the pancake poem reads, "Who wants a pancake, sweet and piping hot? Good little Grace looks up and says, I'll take the one on the top. Who else wants a pancake, fresh off the griddle? Terrible Teresa smiles and says, I'll take the one in the middle." So if you can imagine what will happen if they just yank the pancake from the middle for Teresa, I think they'll fall. All right, the next poem is called Smart. And this is probably my second, maybe third favorite poem in the book, just because of the innocence in the child in this book. And it's just funny how he thinks. So it's called Smart. "My dad gave me $1 bill because I'm his smartest son. And I swapped it for 2 shiny quarters because 2 is more than 1. And then I took the quarters and traded them to Lou for 3 dimes. I guess he didn't know that 3 is more than 2. Just then along came old blind Bates, and just 'cause he can't see, he gave me 4 nickels for my 3 dimes. He couldn't see that 4 is more than 3. And I took the nickels to Harem Combs down at the feed store, and the fool gave me 5 pennies for them, and 5 is way more than 4. And then I went and showed my dad, and he got so red in the cheeks and closed his eyes and shook his head. I guess he was just too proud of me." So, if you know money, you realize that the $1 bill was actually worth way more than anything he traded it for. But I thought it was funny. And there's no picture for that story or that poem. All right. So this next poem is called Sick. And the picture on it is, it looks like it is somebody in bed. They're laying there. You could see their little eyes poking over the covers like they're sick. And so this poem kind of reminds me of the Smart Money poem. It's kind of a play on words. So it reads, "I cannot go to school today," said little Peggy Ann McKay. "I have the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple mumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind in my right eye. My tonsils are as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox. Oh, and there's one more, that's 17. And don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be instamatic flu. I cough and sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure my left leg is broke. My hip hurts when I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankle's sprained. My appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbows bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is shrunk, I cannot hear. There's a hole in both ears. I have a hangnail and my heart is... Oh, what? What is that, Mom? What did you say? You said today is what? Oh, it's Saturday. Okay, I'm going out to play. Just somebody pretending to be sick. I know I did that lots of times in school. Okay, so we've actually come to my favorite poem. See, I put 3 little stickies on it, but we're going to skip it because we're going to save that one for last, because that is the poem to me that makes this whole book. And we are going to go to my next tab. So this poem actually ties for like my 2nd or 3rd place poem along with Smart. It's called No Difference. There is no picture. It's just kind of plain. But it's one of my favorite poems of the book. And so it reads, No difference. Small as a peanut, big as a giant. We're all the same size when we turn off the light. Rich as a sultan, poor as a mite. We're all worth the same when we turn off the light. Red, black, or orange, yellow, or white. We all look the same when we turn off the light. So maybe the way to make everything right is for God just to reach out and turn off the light. I love that poem. And I wish there was a picture, but how do you draw a picture to such a spectacular poem? You got to use your imagination. All right. Next poem is called Lazy Jane. And so this poem, you actually have to look at the picture to kind of really appreciate the poem and for the poem to kind of make sense. I think with the text and the picture, the poem is hilarious. And so this is called Lazy Jane. Lazy, 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 lazy Jane. She wants a drink of water, so she waits and 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 waits for it to rain. So there's Lazy Jane laying on the floor with her mouth open. I think that's hilarious. All right, next poem. Actually, I'm not going to do that one. Okay. So this one is called Spaghetti. And the reason why I like this poem so much, and there's the picture of it right there. It's just a simple picture of spaghetti. I like this poem so much because one of my favorite things to feed Haley when she was little and sitting in her high chair was spaghetti. Just because, like every other, toddler who eats spaghetti, it gets everywhere. So this poem is called Spaghetti. Spaghetti, spaghetti all over the place, up to my elbows, up to my face, over the carpet and under the chairs, into the hammock and round the stairs, filling the bathtub and covering my desk, making the sofa a mad mushy mess. The party is ruined. I'm terribly worried. The guests have all left, unless they've been buried. I told them bring presents. I said throw confetti. I guess they heard wrong, 'cause they all threw spaghetti. So if you look close, you can see someone's hands and their legs, and I don't know, I just thought it was funny. It's a cute poem. All right, so I'm going to go back to my favorite poem. It's kind of long, but this is the poem that when our library, I think I was probably like in 2nd or 3rd grade, got this book, the librarian read this poem to us, and I was just in awe. I was only allowed to check it out like every other week because I had to give somebody else the chance to check it out the next week. So we only had one copy, so it was like I wanted it every other week just for this poem, and I'd read it over and over again. I'm not sure why, but I love it. And it's called Sarah Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. And so the only picture is something simple. And if you look closely, it's just garbage piled high. All right. So here's the poem. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrape the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams, and though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceilings, coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door. With bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, globby glumps of cold oatmeal, pizza crust and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, crusts of black burnt butter toast, gristly bits of beefy roast. The garbage rolled on down the hall. It raised the roof. It broke our walls. Greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from green bologna, rubbery, blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dry, curdled milk and crusts of pie. Moldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard. Cold French fries and ranchet meat, yellow lumps of cream of wheat. At last the garbage reached so high that it finally touched the sky. And all the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come to play. And finally, Sarah Cynthia Stout said, "Fine, okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state, from New York to the Golden State. And there in the garbage she did hate. Poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot now relate because the hour is much too late. But children, remember Sarah Stout and always take the garbage out. So there it is. That was my favorite poem. I don't know why. I thought it was so funny. But this brings back a lot of childhood memories. So, this is Shel Silverstein. You guys can Google him. He actually passed away around the time I graduated high school. I believe, or a little after I graduated high school. So, he's one of my favorite authors. I know I say that every week about everybody, but anyways, so there's that. Okay, so really quick, we're gonna do this Chubby Bunny challenge, and I had to Google it today once Haley challenged me. And so basically this is a challenge where you shove as many marshmallows as you can in your mouth and you count them as you shove them. And then you say something when you've tapped out. Meaning as soon as you shove as many marshmallows in your mouth, you try to say something. So what I'm going to do is, since we just got done with Easter and I have these Peeps left over and they're marshmallow bunnies, is I'm going to shove as many of these in my mouth as I can. There's 16 here. I told Haley, I think I need more. And she said, Mom, no, I don't even think you'll be able to get 5 in your mouth. So my goal today is to at least get more than 5 in my mouth, hopefully all 16. It will be the first time that I pride myself on having a big mouth. So that's my goal today. Then here is a challenge for you guys and how you could win a prize. So once I get all I can shoved in my mouth, I am going to mumble or try to talk as clearly as I can and give you guys the title of next week's book. If you comment below and you get the title right, I will mail to your house or drop off on your porch an extra super duper special prize I have for the winner. So right when this video ends, I will text Andy, so he can't participate, the answer, so that way we keep it fair, and the first person to identify or figure out what I'm saying will be the winner, okay? So we're gonna get this chubby bunny challenge ready. So as I put them in my mouth, I'm gonna count them. And we all know that I have to get into character because I love a good theme. So it's amazing how much I can see with my glasses on and how much I can't without them, okay? So I am now Chubby Bunny, and I got my peeps open. We're gonna start with pink because that's my favorite color. So here we go. And here's 1. Oh, this is easy. 2. And kind of gross, huh? Here's 3. 4. Here's 4.